Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. We're going to be going over kind of like a mindset one. It's a little bit different to what we've done in the past. If you have watched any of the other videos, it's going to be a little bit more into like habits, social environments, how to basically get the best out of ourselves and how we can be a more overall, more improved physical and physically conditioned and healthy human being. And normally it's not any specific factors, but normally getting used to the new habits that we're trying to reform and making sure that what we're doing in our lifestyle and making it now a product of our habits. So when we are doing that, it takes a lot of mindset and challenging the mind and making sure that we are setting that straight for the day, and that's going to kind of clear our vision of what we need to do and getting used to those habits as well. So the title of this mindset training for today is we all have an abundance of greatness inside of us. So what that means is I thoroughly believe that we all have an immense amount of greatness in us. We just need to make sure we have to just access it. So how do we access it? That is the question today. So with this abundance of greatness that we have in us, we just struggle to get it out, and sometimes it can be a few things that we're struggling to get this abundance of greatness out of us. So when catering towards physique development, we just have to make sure that we're accessing the habits and social norms that come behind accessing our life. So we'll go into that, which ones we need. So we are a product of our social environments and habits. So in the past, potentially you're bringing up your parental methods of being brought up have a social impact of who you are as a person. The habits that you have been doing in the last God knows how long with your partner or just even your family or your kids, you are a product of those social environments and habits, and potentially that you're doing stuff in autopilot that is affecting your physique development. So for example, not when we are tired and we're not really thinking, when maybe we've had a hard day at work, we go into this thing called fatigue, decision fatigue, where we are not really thinking and we just go with the easiest decision because we're in autopilot and we're not really thinking about it too much because we're so most likely just drained from what we have done in the past. So this is where it's really important with having a good quality social environment and good habits when we are building a physique. So social environment, making sure that your partner's is on board of what you're trying to achieve, making sure that we have access to the foods that are available in the house. So good quality protein sources are on hand, being the most, one of the essential ones. High volume, low calorie options, vegetables, fruits, things that are going to satiate us more than having low calorie dense foods around in the house. They do have a time and place with the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time having whole food sources, 20% of the time having a little bit more freedom of choice. But with that 80%, that should be kind of the social norm within the household. So having plenty of fruit and veg, plenty of protein choices, plenty of good quality whole food sources is going to be highly beneficial when it comes to creating a social norm within the household. And then alongside that, making sure it's habit that you are having those type of foods within a day-to-day basis. So a norm for most people, they have up to 5 to 6 meal rotations, and that's it. That being said, it does change ever so often. So we will have maybe, for example, we've gone from a chicken breast with a jacket potato and veg. That gets swapped out, and you maybe have a chili, or you have some fajitas, or you have, a cottage pie, something that potentially has got a contribution of all of the macronutrients. Maybe for our evening meal, this obviously for evening meals, is that we are got these 6 rotations, and we kind of stick to them on a basis, and very rarely change from these like kind of 6 meals, which is, when you think about it, you might venture ever so often, maybe on a weekend, having something different, but the norm and the day-to-day basis, we're trying to just dial those in and making sure that those 6 meals, or 6 evening meals, 6 lunch meals, 6 breakfast meals, is they're dialed in for what we're trying to achieve with your physique. So making sure that you are got the good quality foods within your environment, and making sure that you have access to them, and then it becomes habitual. So like what we've said, we have to let go of what we know. So the stuff that we know in the past, sometimes this can be a difficult part. Sometimes it's, for some people, letting go of what they do know and forgetting that, and becoming on these new methods can sometimes be more difficult than someone who's starting at the beginning and just learning the right process from the start. So if you are letting go of some methods, don't worry about it. We've definitely had some really, really great results for some people that have gone through a lot of wrong methods, and maybe output actually maybe an enormous amount of effort with very little return, with then applying what the principles we have here at Murphy Training, and with those methods, when they've been applied, they've just skyrocketed, and they've just produced amazing results really, really quickly and quite dramatically. And the reason is because they've been trying the wrong methods for so long, and it feels like you kind of, when you do get the wrong methods, you kind of just like in a vicious cycle, or in a hamster wheel where you're just going round and round in circles, and you don't really know where you're going, and you can't really see the end line. You can't really see any progress, and you don't really understand why. So what we need to implement is the new habits. The new habits, mainly for the methods what we use at Murphy Training, is tracking our food and weighing our food. That is going to be important, because that education of knowing what's in our food is vital. Knowing how much protein in it, how much fats are in this, how much carbs are in this, understanding how much are actually in these foods and how much you can have is just absolutely paramount. Because when anyone starts on this journey, when they start calorie counting and understanding what is in the education of those foods, they are always mind blown on certain foods. Like for me, it's like just silly stuff. Like salmon. I just always thought salmon was just a good protein source, because everyone told me salmon's a great protein source, and then realised it's got like a whole lot of fat in it. It's good fats, but if you've got a certain allowance of fat, and you're just going free for all in your salmon and having it maybe 2-3 meals a day, it's going to easily top up real quick. Same again with I used to have these massive high calorie smoothies as well. For me, I just put everything in: peanut butter, oats, milk, whole milk, protein powders, coconut oil, and just basically the kitchen sink went into this smoothie, and God knows what the calories were on it. It was easily over 1,000, probably more likely 1,500, and I just thought they're good foods, so it's a free for all. But there's a very clear distinction between good foods, but also within your calorie allowance. You can't have a free for all on any food. It's an amount, a select amount, alongside good quality nutrition, and you need to have both parts of those dialed in to make sure that we're progressing on our physique. That's going to help with performance with the nutrition, the good quality nutrition. The calories and macros are just going to improve performance. So well-being, quality of food, and choice of food, and then physique progression. Sorry, is the macros and the calories, getting those dialed in. So we need to get the nutrition dialed in. That is one habit. Quality of food choice, that is another habit. Social norm, going to the gym all the time and having loads of friends at the gym, that is the social norm, and just spending time there, because it is a very social place and it's good to be there. I think a lot of people have a negative spin on the gym, but when you actually get there and you're going there consistently, loads and loads of your friends are there, and it becomes really quite a cool place to hang out. Well, I say hang out, just be there and talking to people. And getting those kind of social norms into place with your friends and family, it might take some time, but the quicker that you get these in place is going to be more of a progression for you. So sometimes in certain scenarios, having a sit down conversation with a partner and discussing, like, this goal is really important to me. Please could you be aware that I'm trying to achieve this? Please could you make sure that when you go into the shop, we could have, if you're there, please can you pick up some chicken breasts? If we're going to the shop, please could you pick up this? I've gotten this meal at lunchtime. I got this meal, and just letting the person be aware that this goal of what you're trying to achieve is really important to me. So you have to get your friends and family on board of what you're trying to achieve and not let them bring you down. A massive thing for me for when I was growing up, you go through that kind of social stage when you're about 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-ish, is you have a lot of social time and you go out and drink a lot of alcohol as well, whereas that's quite normal. And it was a little bit of a phase for me when I got maybe more into my mid-20s and out of my early 20s, was slowly, for me, just slowly changing my habits around alcohol and making sure that I still, if potentially in that age, it was still more for special occasions and not being the social norm. So when I went out with my friends and wanted to socialise and see them, which a lot of them still hanged out at the pub, I was having Diet Cokes, and the reason is because this means a lot to me. So I'm not sacrificing what my progression in the gym for social events for you guys, but I still want to be here and obviously be friends with you lot. So for me, it wasn't a sacrifice, it was just reframing it to make sure that the people around me knew that this is the norm for me now, and this is what is to be expected from me now, and you can either get on board with this or you don't get me as a friend. So it's kind of reframing it in a way that 99.9% of the time, the people that are your true friends will always stay there and will always be wanting to spend time with you, even if you're not drunk and you're not consuming alcohol and they don't really bothered about it. But the people that are, in my opinion, are not really your true friends. They just want to get drunk. So there's something else to be considered as well. So a lot to cover. that is everything. I thought it was. So mindset training. Let me know what you think, guys. Well, let me know what you guys thought of this training, and let me know if you want some more kind of mindset stuff in the future. I know that it went through quite a lot of information there, and I kind of waffled on a little bit for a few minutes, but we're going to have a couple more mindset stuff going forward, and we'll be implementing it as well. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Let me know what you thought of the video. Give me your comments below, and if anything you want me to cover in the future.